Hello everybody, welcome back. We are jumping in on day 17 since that's what today is. The others are coming, don't worry. Alright, so 17 brings us to, oh, it's another little one. Let us see. Oh. This poor box is getting a beating. Ow! Oh, poop, it got me. Okay, it's a little kitty to match the little puppy we got. All right, I will discover something to do with this. Okay, we'll see you soon. All right, friends, we have come up with a plan, or so I thought at first. I got this new awesome background stamp. It's beautiful paneling from Unity Stamp Company. I love their stuff. And so I really wanted to use it. And it was begging to be stamped, so I took out some beautiful brown suede ink and stamped it a zillion times. Little ink cubes are not the most efficient when it comes to background stamps, but I make do because I prefer them for traveling and whatnot. I don't really like big stamp pads. They're very cumbersome for me. So I double stamped it to get a good impression. I really love this stamp. I've wanted a panel style stamp, barn wall stamp for a long time, and I finally found one that I really liked. So I wanted to use it, so then I was thinking, well, maybe an aperture card. And then, like, the front of the card would be the barn wall, and then the background of the inside of the card would be the circle of the barn wall. And then I decided I didn't want to use the barn wall thing on the front. I just wanted to use it on the inside of the card. I don't know why all of a sudden I changed my plan, because I think the other way would have been fine too. But yeah, I don't craft by plan. I don't know if you guys have noticed at all, but I craft very by the seat of my pants. I just start grabbing things and think, oh, this would be pretty, and oh, I have that. I haven't used that yet. Or, oh, maybe this will be cool. And I just keep adding to it, and sometimes I just don't know when to stop. I've created some pretty gaudy cards because it was beautiful at one point, and then I just kept embellishing, and it just got to the point where it was just so chaotic and distracting. It was no longer pretty or eye-catching. It was more like, ah, my eyes! And you don't really want your card to affect people in that way. So it got dismantled, and parts of it were recycled, and parts that were beyond repair just got turfed. But yeah, so I'm working on a minimalist idea, or yeah, thought. Because yeah, I tend to go overboard sometimes. But I want to use so many of the cool techniques and whatnot that we've learned, and it's hard not to use them all on one card, you know? Oh dear. So I decided to make the kitty and this little heart from a die that we discovered earlier in the Advent Calendar. And I thought it was kind of plain still. So I thought, oh, I've got this cute little stencil I've never used, and it has all these adorable little pet things on it. So why not put some kitty paw prints around the circle? That'll add a little bit of interest. So I tried to stay with the similar color ink so that it would show up but not be too, distracting, I guess. Trying to avoid the gaudy effect, right? Minimalism. There is something to be said for it. I apologize for how stuffy and awful I sound today. I am still so very sick, and I'm afraid my Dristan is wearing off. It's awful. Oh, and I'm claustrophobic on top of it, so when I get really stuffed up, I can't sleep unless I, super Dristan. and it has to be the extra strength, and it has to be 12-hour, and yeah, and then I take a decongestant on top of it, because there's nothing worse than being claustrophobic and waking up not being able to breathe, because that incites panic attacks. Whoo. So moving on with the card, um I got all my little kitty feet on there, and I really like how they turned out. Some of them are a little softer than others, but I'm okay with that. It sort of has a faded effect as it goes around the circle, and I like that. So for the sentiment, another Unity stamp from one of my Kit of the Month sets. They give you so many sentiments with those kits. It's ridiculous, and I just love them. So this one is, I think, you have my heart always. And that's why I use the little heart to go with the kitty. And, you know, cat people, their cats are part of who they are. I know I am a cat people. And my cat pretty much owns me. And I think anyone who has a dedicated cat feels that way too. You would do anything for your cat. Well, within reason. I'm not one of those crazy people who would spend thousands of dollars on their health. If the cat is that ill, the cat will die. I'm sorry, I know that's harsh, but I just don't have the money to spend on a pet like that. And I kind of grew up in a farm mentality. I wasn't on a farm, but I grew up with the understanding that people are the caretakers and animals are the carees, if you will. And we kind of have to make choices for their best interests. And sometimes, you know, if they're really ill, it's nicer to put them out of their misery, because they can't tell us what's wrong. They can't explain when they hurt. And you really have no idea how bad off they are. And they love their people so bad they stick around. And it just, oh, okay, sorry. I can't talk about this anymore. I've lost so many cats. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, dear. I may have to do this voiceover again and maybe not talk about that. Yeah. Okay, so this embossing powder that I've used is called Brown Fizz, and I got it from Sparkle and Sprinkle, I believe was the name of the company, but that company closed up. The lady sold it, and they're out under a different name now, Glitter something or other, I can't remember, but they have some really amazing embossing powders. And they mix them themselves, and I really like them. A lot of sparkly ones I've never seen before, and they seem to be pretty nice. I think it looked all right on the card, especially in some of that smaller font on the top there, because I find sometimes embossing powder makes your fonts look blurry. But this stuff seemed to be pretty good. And of course, using the Versamark helps. Versamark is a great embossing ink. I also have a Simon Says Stamp embossing ink and a Nuvo embossing ink, and I like all of them, I have to admit. I think the Nuvo one is my favorite, but Versamark is awesome too, and I haven't used it in a while, and I like to make sure that I'm using all my stuff so that it doesn't go to waste. I'm so cheap. But you know what? This stuff is not cheap. It's not a cheap hobby. And right now I'm too poor to really buy anything. So I tend to super appreciate the stuff I have stocked up on now. Because I do have lots I've never touched. And it's going to be fun to get to that stuff now that I'm on a no-spend diet, so to speak. Let me see, what else? Oh, yep, there I'm showing the embossing powder. See all that sparkle in there? It's so darn pretty, and for a brown, I love it. And it's a neat change from the standard golds or black or clear that's out there, and I thought it went really, really nicely with the card. So now that that's done, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, I want to do something with those guys. I think I want to... Oh, wait, no. I decide first that I don't like the stark white on the inside of the card. It's sort of like, oh, my retina, when you open it up from the nice brown that's on the front. It's all soft and subtle, and then you open up to this stark, blinding white, and I didn't like that. I didn't like how my retina reacted. So I decided to blend a little bit of the Distress Oxide. Oh shoot, it's the photo one. I can't remember the name. I'm sick. Sorry, it's the cold medicine. It's got me forgetting stuff left, right, and center. I maybe shouldn't even be doing this video under the influence of cold medicine. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna blame for the cat thing too. Cold medicine. Sorry guys, it was the cold medicine. It made me do it. Well, if nothing else, I hope I at least make you laugh. So yeah, with these little elements, I wanted to pop them up a bit. So I'm going to use my Sticks to Anything 1mm foam squares. I got these from Craft Stash in the UK. I'm sure I've spoken about Craft Stash before. I love them. They ship to Canada for free if you spend $85 Canadian or more. And I mean, come on, what's $85 when we do a craft shopping spree? Truly. And they have some of the best little crafty magazines over there on Craft Stash. Die Cutting Essentials, Simply Cards, Simply Papercraft. Oh my gosh, the Tonic magazines, magazine kits where it comes with, and all of the magazines come with a free gift, being huge, like 8.5 by 11 stamp sets. Granted, they're not photopolymer stamps, but they stamp beautifully, I find. I've made quite a few cards with those stamps. They don't stick very well to the acrylic blocks. You have to wet them. Well, not wet them, but you know what I mean. Wipe them with a slightly damp squeegee cloth or something. Those little chamois cloths, or even a damp paper towel would be perfect, just to sort of give it a little bit of grip, like those little darts with the plungy thing on the end. You gotta lick it to make it suction. It's sort of that premise. And then they stamp beautifully. I find they do. I find the lines on those are a lot finer than the photopolymer ones, so the detail is a lot better. Similar quality to the red rubber stamps, actually, but they don't feel as sturdy. They don't feel as good. But shoot, it's a free gift, guys. A stamp set that large over here would probably cost about $35, and it's free with a $10 magazine. And they have magazine sales where the magazines are half price, so like you can't go wrong with that. But definitely check them out. It's craftstash.com, and see if you find anything you like. So to finish the card, I threw on some Nouveau Stone Drops, and that's the end of it. Ta-da! So that brings us to the end of day 17. I like how this card turned out. I wasn't sure where I was going with it for most of the time, but I think it ended up pretty good. I thank you for hanging out with me again. This was a nice short one compared to some of the others that have been pretty long. If you're new, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you don't mind, if you could hit the thumbs up, that's always awesome too. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.